Okay, this is a recording. I'm tired of the low skill attacks, so I want to explain what I'm doing. You have different genres of music. You have blues, jazz, you have rock, you have country. I don't call rap music, but what you're doing is in gospel, and what you're doing is you're deciding what style you want to play. And if you play a certain style, you could say all blues sounds the same, all country sounds the same, all rock sounds the same, because the way it is. So, if let's say I'm playing the Kush chords, so I'm going to play a C. Okay, if I make that a C minor, my scale changes magically. You can have, if you're on a keyboard, magically you make that a C minor. Your B flat and A flat just opened up to you. G becomes G minor, F becomes F minor, and you have an E flat. And so the world is your oyster. So you're allowed to play all those notes. You don't just have C, D, E, F, and G. You have C, D, E flat, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat. So, and then you don't have to stop there. You can incorporate other scales, blues scales. I mean, not blues, but, well, yeah, blues, pentatonic or blues. So, here's what happens. Once I set this thing up, you're able to play just about anything you want to play. I couldn't do that if I was in C major. Because I'm in C minor, I now have the ability to play an E flat and an A flat. So I'm taking my G, my C E G. Now I'm in C minor, and my G can go up to A flat. And go B flat. F. G minor. F minor. Flat. Now if I want to use mu chords, mu chord is playing add 9. And you can do all kinds of stuff with that. B flat in your left hand. B flat to an F. Back to C. So that is using what's called a Kush chord. A Kush chord's not really a chord. It just means you're able to play the C major or minor, but it's kind of weird because you don't even have to play a C minor, and it's still considered a Kush chord progression. I was going to play a F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, F major, G major, A minor. So you're able to do just about anything you want. Now, if you combine that scale with other techniques that are not blues, they're not jazz, just a C major, Clement. Lydian scale. C, D major, together. C, D, F sharp A, G, E, D, C, B flat, F. Whatever you want to do. Play a minor chord. Move you're in a C minor. Move your G to a G sharp. Now play the E flat. B flat. F, A, C, C minor, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, C minor. So it's all in your imagination. So, what I do when I'm composing something is I'm not just noodling off ridiculous stupidity. I'm taking different scales and melodies and I'm combining them. There's a skill to it. It's not just flagrant stupidity. Jazz itself is improvisation, but there's rules and you follow those rules. So anyway, I'm basically defending myself from some clown that was accusing me of just randomly noodling. Jazz is noodling, but I'm not just doing jazz. I'm using different scales, different modes, different flavors. Okay, I'll do one where I'll take a C, make it minor, turn it into an A flat. But then, I'm doing something totally different. Taking the C, making it minor, bring up to A flat. But then I take the C's and I raise them up to a C sharp. I take the C in the treble and I move it on over to the B flat. Down from the C sharp to C. So you're in an A flat 9. moved over to a B with an A flat, E flat, A flat, B flat. Jumping back over in the bass to A flat and B flat. Now just B flat. Now B diminished to C. So, and I got a dozen more techniques that I use. So all of my compositions are going to sound like me because that's how I play. You'll hear Billy Joel, you'll hear Toto, you'll hear Journey, you'll hear Elton John, because I'm old, I'm 60, so that's my style, and I'm not playing just ridiculous, stupid nothing. I use augmented 6 chords. Predominant. I don't know why people call them dominant. They're predominant, wanting to go to the G and then to C. Now, I use Barry Harris's scale of family of dominant sevens, all built off of a fully diminished scale. So what you do is you take a G. Well, what's the minor of a G minor? B flat. What's the minor of a B flat? D flat. What's the minor of a D flat? E. Now you play any of those chords in substitute for a dominant 7. So instead of going from the augmented 6 to a G, I'm going to go augmented 6 or French or German. I might use them all. But I'm not going to go to a G. I'm going to go to a D flat 7. Now I'm going to go to an E7. So I'm using a G7, B flat 7, D flat 7, E7 to C. Now, I might add in, for fun, moving in plagal cadences to double, single, double, triple, or I'll just go triple major plagal cadences and triple minor, which just means I'm following the entire circle. Well, I can't say I'm following the entire circle. I'm following C major, G major, D minor, A minor, E minor, B minor, F sharp major, C sharp major, A flat major, and E flat major, and B flat major, F, C. I can jump off that train anytime I want. You can also use minor or minor 6 chords. You can just use a plain simple minor chord and it works just as well. But a minor 6 chord has as much pull to the one chord, tonic chord, as a dominant 7. So let's see what else. Barry Harris diminished 6 scales, really awesome to put into your playing. I use all of this stuff, so all of my compositions may have all of this stuff in it. They may have part of it in it. I don't just make noise. I'm using techniques that are in blues, jazz, rock. I'm trying to think of what other. And then pop, I mean, I'm old, so Toto, Journey, Billy Joel, whatever. I combine different techniques that are just mine that I've never ever heard anybody else do, and I frankly won't even tell you what they are. I'll just let you hear them. Okay, I use all kinds of cool stuff I don't hear anybody else do. So I try to help musicians with music. I'm not trying to be a jackass. I try to not just talk to them about augmented chords, but explain to them there's 4 of them. There's Italian, French, and German. And then there's just a plain simple C, E, G sharp. And that's part of cliche playing. You can be playing a cliche style is you can use the 1, the 5, and the 7 to do your cliches. They're half steps up and down. I did a Frank Sinatra thing that I had a guy smarting off at me about. He said it was going nowhere, and it was noodling. It just shows how obnoxious people are. But what it is, it's in D major. And you lock your A, and you lock your F sharp. You get to the B, you just go ahead and play the B, make it a B7. Up to A, up to E. And play the melody. To A major 7. Back to D. This time, you're just going to leave everything and play the D to a D flat, to a C, to a B. G minor to D major. So I have, I don't know, 20 or 30 different techniques I use, and I incorporate them in any one of my solos. Sometimes I get where a song is just in my head, and I'll do 4 solos of that thing in a month. I don't know. But I'm just trying to help people. I'm not trying to be rude. I tried to introduce to people the minor magnetic technique, which is mine. It's used in classical, it's used in other things, but it's not categorized, and it's not highlighted. And basically what it is the fact that if I play a C major, once you go to F, but if I minor that C, once you go to G. So if I'm playing a G7, it wants to resolve to a C, but if I make it resolve to a C minor, it wants to do a dance and go back and forth. And that's what For Elise is, and a whole lot of other stuff. You can do Christmas songs like that. The other thing I think in my rambling, because I'm very weak and I have heart issues, and it's really hard just to even talk. But I use the Barry Harris half diminished scale, which is you're playing a major scale and a diminished scale together. And you're basically, when you hit it, when you say you're going to play a C, you're going to play a C, E, G, A. So it's a C6. If you're going to play a diminished scale, it's going to be any of the 4, B, D, F, A flat, and any inversion is a whole nother diminished scale. And what you do is you treat each note as a chord. So instead of an E minor or an E major, you have an E, G, A, and a C. So you're playing all 3 of those in the major and all 4 in the diminished to make your scales. And you can add, mix and mingle 1 or 2 of the other notes that are major. So I'll do a lot of that stuff. So a bunch more, but I'm really weak. I'm just explaining what I'm doing, and if you hear my stuff and you think, well, it kind of sounds alike, well, that's because I like to play bluesy or jazzy, but I don't honestly like to play jazz. So I'm not going to have this, I'm sorry, obnoxious, ongoing nothingness. I like some of the techniques in gospel, I like some of the techniques in blues and jazz, and I incorporate them. But I do them in my own rhythm. I'm not really doing it in a blues rhythm. I'm doing it in a rock rhythm. So anyway, there we go. I explained what I do, why I like it. If you like it, fine. If you don't listen to it. But I don't need obnoxious people calling me a hack when I'm absolutely extremely advanced in theory and can teach anybody on guitar as far as they want to go, and on piano as far as they want to go, and on drums as far as they want to go. So I'm sorry if I have knowledge, if that's some kind of sin these days, and considered ignorance, not ignorance, but being arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm tolerable of ignorant people. And some people think they can play like I do, and they're not doing anything I'm doing. They're not doing anything that is true theory-based knowledge. So anyway, I did my rant. I'm done. I just don't feel good, and I'm really tired of it. It's hard enough for me to play. I have heart issues. My fingers get swollen, and it just takes everything I have just to play something. But I push myself. So anyway, sorry if I insulted anyone. I just felt like I needed to explain what I do, why I do it, and why some of my solos sound exactly the same. That's because I'll get on kind of a kick where one particular song is in my head constantly, and I'll play it 3 or 4 times in a month and record it 3 or 4 times in a month. That's why they sound alike, because of the same thing. But my style is Billy Joel, Elton John, Toto, Journey, and classical. I use a lot of classical techniques in what I do. I use a lot of Bach and Beethoven techniques. I use N6s. I use a C minor to an F to an A flat to a C sharp minor, E flat minor. And when you're playing a C minor, you want that dominant chord to be reached, and what you do is you use the C sharp that is not, it doesn't have a 7, it's not a dominant 7, but it is absolutely 100% a tritone of the G itself. So it fits. Anyway, I have more than that, but that's enough for now. So anyway, God bless.